Hello and welcome to the 41st video in this Beginning Programming C series. To carry on from the last video where we looked at type def and defining our structure as a type to shorten the code a bit, I want to have a look now at how we use a pointer to a structure. And we use it pretty much in exactly the same way that we used pointers to other variables or types, so say for integers, except with a couple of subtle differences when we want to access the information. So in terms of, let's say we want to change our printcar function to take a pointer to a structure rather than our copying our car structure into the function in this way that we have here at the moment. Well, as with an integer, we just put a star simply in front of our car like this to say that it's a pointer to our car, and of course we have to change the print car arguments now to have the address of operator here, because we're now sending a pointer to the address of where car 1 is and where car 2 is in this case. The problem comes when we actually try to access the information here, and this is really critical. Say we want to print an integer and we've got a pointer to that integer. You remember from the pointer videos that we would do it in this way to use the printf statement and print. If, say, we wanted to access and print the speed of a car pointer to the screen, you might think that the way we do it is to take our car.speed in this way and put the star here as the pointer like this. Well, now that I've said might, you'll know that this isn't the right way to do it. But the problem with doing this is what this is saying that speed is the contents of the memory location given by our car.speed. But whereas when we were doing the integer, this was pointing to the memory location of the integer, this .speed here isn't a memory location. What we've got is our pointer is a pointer to the memory location for our whole structure. So what we're actually saying here is incorrect and in fact won't compile. What we actually need to do is we need to put brackets around the star and our car in this way. And now what this statement is saying is access the speed part of the structure at the memory location of our structure, which is correct. So to be able to print this information in printcar to the console, we need to replace our car dot with the brackets and the star in this way. So if I just bring the terminal across now and compile this, and then run, and you'll see we get the information printed as before to the screen. OK, so we're now passing in as a structure and printing the information to the screen. And when using pointers, even in this small example, it's a good practice really to use the const keyword if you're not intending to change any of the values inside your structure here, and if you did, then the compiler would throw an error. Of course, it's really cumbersome to have to type this brackets and a pointer and close brackets in this way, and you'll be glad to know there's a much easier way of doing it, and that is to make a dash and then a greater than sign, which means exactly the same thing as the dereferencing of the memory in this way here. So I can replace this rather cumbersome looking code with a much nicer and cleaner looking version of the code like this, and this then does exactly the same kind of thing. If I just compile this and run, you'll see we get the same output to the screen again. So that's it there for this video then, for a small introduction to pointing to structures. It works exactly the same way as it does for integers, but when you come to access the information, you just have to take care of the syntax you use. You either use this notation here with the dash and the greater than sign, or you have to use your brackets and the star. So thanks very much for watching. Comments, questions, criticisms, welcome as always on YouTube.